And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down,
Papalo
I
Radio,
have to
straight
pick
up
myself
for
back
Jesus.
up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. 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 Stand up. To be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
All right, stand up for the champions. In the Sports Arena, it's your host, Eric Ments, bringing you sports updates. And it's going to be interesting. We're bringing all the sports across the globe. It's Wednesday again, and I'm your host, Eric Ments, with my producer, Mr. Jude. Yes, we're bringing you fantastic sports updates across the world, and it's been a fascinating week that a lot of discipline has been going on through both Europe and the local scenes, and we're bringing you all the guests and the things happening in world of sports. Yes, we'll be starting with football and we will be taking you all the way to Europe. Yes, a lot happened in Europe during the week and even midweek. A lot happened. Yes, it's still international break. League matches not yet up. It's going to be resumed this particular weekend. Yes, but the international break was interesting. There were some interesting results. There were some interesting match and games that came to pair. Still, Ghana is still making waves, yes, for the under 23. We're bringing you more insight about that. The Ghana Premier League is still in session, even during the international break. They were still in session, yes. So we'll be bringing you updates from that end as well, and not forgetting other sporting disciplines like the boxing, which is currently going to be an interesting conversation we'll be having shortly on our station. Yes, and this is Papa Law Radio. Don't go anywhere. Be right with us, and please again share and like our comments. Let's invite others to join us as well to witness the great sports show in Ghana. Yes, so don't go anywhere. Be right with us. We'll be back with this after this break. That will take you along the journey. Alright, so back again. It's your host that recommends on Papa Law Radio. We'll be bringing you updates, as I said earlier before I went for the break. Yes, we'll be starting with some interesting matches that came to plan during the course of the week. Yes, and we start with Europe. A lot of interesting.
Papa Law Radio, straight up
still,
for
the
Jesus.
Euro 2024 qualifiers that is happening. In Turkey this particular next year. So the qualifier is still ongoing. There were a lot of matches that came to play, and we will bring you what transpired during those matches. Yes, all right. So you can still join us on Papa Law Radio on all social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yes, everywhere that you can stream us on, and any streaming platform you can find us on. Yes, Papa Law Radio. And don't go anywhere. Be right with us. All right. So we're starting with Europe, the European qualifiers, and what an interesting
Papa Law Radio,
and,
straight up
it started with
for Jesus.
Spain. That was a shock of the moment yesterday, and a lot of investors were sad and disappointed. But hey, that is the game for you. All right, so Spain and Scotland took on. It was an interesting game that happened. Yes, Scotland beat Spain 2-0. There were a bit of complaints from the Spain captain, the deputy captain, who in the person of Rodriguez, yes, the Manchester City talisman, was in that particular match, and had complaints that the style of play from the Scottish weren't the best. They just keep on falling and time wasting, which caused them to lose that match. Yes, Georgia and Norway was the start of that particular qualifiers, and it ended 1-1. Yes, it was one that everyone was looking up for, and Norway lost their talisman in the person of Erling Haaland, who couldn't feature just with a little discomfort, so they had to send him back to Manchester City for treatment. So they drew that match against Georgia. Yes, all right. So Turkey and Croatia was an interesting one because Turkey used this match to open their new arena. Yes, the Buzan Stadium. Yes, they opened. It's made of crocodile. Yeah, one of these they will show you the video. The stadium is made of crocodile sign. Yes, they used this match to open that particular stadium, but unfortunately they lost that game to 2-0. Yes, for Croatia, you know, they are powerhouse when it comes to football, and just recently in the World Cup they were fantastic. They beat Brazil, so that should tell you the kind of players and the team they have. All right, so still on the European front and the qualifiers, Wales and Latvia ended 1-0 in favor of Wales. Wales beat Latvia 1-0. Romania and Belarus was an interesting one. Yes, Romania beat Belarus 2-1. All right, so Switzerland and Israel. Yes, Switzerland with a lot of powerhouses beat Israel 3-0. All right, so Kosovo and Andorra. A lot of people were rooting for Kosovo because their previous match they did very well, but this particular one they drew with Andorra. So yes, it's something that is, mind you, Kosovo just recently, I think 3 years ago, they joined the European Federation. You know, Kosovo wasn't a sovereign state, so they were just on their own. But recently, they gained independence, sort of, and they had to join the UEFA. Yes, so they give them the right to play their matches on their own. So that was some interesting news from the European qualifiers, 2024 European qualifiers. Yes, so this were the result that came to bear yesterday. All right, it's still looking interesting in Europe, so we'll be definitely bringing you much update going forward. All right. All right, so it's another interesting one with Javi Renard, who was the former the Elephant of La Côte d'Ivoire coach who won the African Cup for them. Yes, this same coach was in Ghana, came to Ghana. He was in Ghana. I think one of the coaches brought him to Ghana as a physiotherapy, yes, but he had to go through the ranks, and now he's the head coach. Just recently in the World Cup, he was the only team that beat Argentina. Yes, he was the head coach for the Saudi Arabian side that beat Argentina. Yes, and this man has a very interesting record when it comes to fighting for the top guns. Yes, and recently after the World Cup, they were called that he's going to go to a very interesting national team, but yesterday he had to pay his own transfer outright from the Saudi Arabian contract he had with them. So now he's going to be the new coach. It's rumored that it's going to be the new coach for the France women's national team. Yes, the World Cup is coming on. The Women's World Cup is coming on. It's happening in Switzerland. It's happening Australia, yes, Australia and New Zealand, yes. So that is where the rumors are coming in. That is going to take that team to that particular tournament and win. It's assured I had to win it, yes. But others are calling for him to manage a men team because he's known in the men football that is a giant when it comes to managing players of big guns. So he should be heading straight. But mind you, he also wants to be in Europe. Probably will experience a better offer when he does well with the France women's team. All right, others were calling him to come and take over Graham Potter to be the new Chelsea coach, which is the fun side of all this. Yes, but mind you, that is the news coming up that he's actually going to take on the France women's national team. Yes, for the World Cup in New Zealand and Australia coming up June, July. Yeah, right. So we'll be bringing you more updates on that particular one as well. All right. So keep on and be listening to on Papalo Radio. Yeah, there are interesting news since coaches are resigning and some being sacked. Yes, there's a coach, fans favorite in North London that has recently resigned from his spot. It's an interesting one because nobody expected this. During the international break, there were a lot of comments and reactions from his camp, but he went on a long break. Yes, he had to go and he had to go under the knife.
Papalo Radio, straight
came
up
back and beat
for
Manchester.
Jesus.
He came back and beat Chelsea, but yes, still he's decided to leave the football scene. That is, in your short, Antonio Conte, who had to resign from the Tottenham Hotspurs camp. Yes, he's no more going to be the coach for the Tottenham Hotspur. So he's going away with all his technical staffs, and we'll be bringing you more updates on that. After 16 months with Spurs, the Italian has really called it all out that he's no more going to be the coach for Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, recently he was in the news actually calling shots that some of the players in Tottenham are selfish and they are not playing for the club. They are playing for themselves. Others took the shot that yes, he's referring to Harry Kane and the rest, but Harry Kane is untouchable when it comes to Tottenham. So probably that were the reasons for this sack, but they are still gunning for the Champions League spots in the English Premier League. So whatever happened, we'll be bringing you updates on that slot as well. And there's an interesting one, coming up from England. Yes, still in England. We all remember Arsene Wenger, yes, and Sir Alex Ferguson. They are the two managers that has really managed, had a lot of games in the Premier League, and they are the first to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yes, the Premier League Hall of Fame. It's not easy to get your name up in the Hall of Fame of a whole institution like the Premier League. So for you to be named among the greats in that section, it's very interesting. Mind you, these two coaches during their career, during their time of coaching, were bigger rivals. But hey, that is football for you. After football, life still goes on, and that is what happened. Yes, Arsene Wenger in your short with the Hall of Fame plug. Yes, he's now been inducted into the all favorite, all time, all greatest Hall of Fame for the English Premier League. All right, so it's an interesting one. That's we have these two coaches in that particular Hall of Fame. So that is some interesting news coming up from that particular end. Yes, so during the week as well, yes, the European qualifiers was in session, and there were some interesting and fun facts that came to bear. Yes, we'll be bringing you the team of the week. Yes, so that is the European team of the week. Yes, so during the countries playing, they were selected few that made it to the final team of the week. Yes, so that is something we'll be bringing you up. With the team of the week, we have the Croatia keeper Levakovic, who is in the post, Letananake, Buka from Romania, Gerson from Iceland, and Dumfries from Holland is the back four. Yes, and we have Kovacic, we have Saka, yes, in your search as well, and Zubulai, who recently is going to be a Manchester United player, but still not confirmed. Yes, and we have JD, yes, from Iceland as well. Ronaldo in your shot, who scored against Lithuania and raised a lot of conversation. Mind you, yesterday Lionel Messi also did wonders against Curacao, yes, in the CONCACAF qualifiers. Yeah, what an interesting one that he won that game by 7-0. Yes, so this is your European team of the week. Yes, in your short. All right, so these are more interesting ones coming from Europe. Yes, and as I said earlier, please again share our YouTube channel, play the notification button on, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Very important. And our Facebook, just like our Facebook page, and keep the notification button on. We'll be updating you on any transfer. And if you want more interesting sports updates, more interesting political news, more interesting entertainment news, just try
Papalo Radio, straight up for Jesus.
And also on all our social media platforms, we'll be giving you a lot of updates on our platform and interesting words or news going across the group. All right, so on this note, we'll be going for a short commercial. We're going to come back. We'll be taking you to the local scene and bringing you more updates from the local scene. So just be with us, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. right, so stand up for the champions. We'll come back to Sports Arena on Papalo Radio. Yes, it's still interesting one coming up from our studio. As I said earlier on, it's still going to give you a lot of updates. Don't go anywhere. Just be with us. Yes. All right. So, as I said earlier on, from the European front, we will be coming back home. Yes, we start something with Africa. You know, there were a lot of qualifiers from the African scenes. Yes, for the African 2024. La Côte d'Ivoire, yes, going to come on shortly. So, still matches being played for that particular match. All right. So, a lot of countries have already qualified for the 2024 La Côte d'Ivoire, yes, African Cup of Nations. Yes, so I'll be bringing you what transpired yesterday during the qualifiers. So we start with a lot of interesting matches that came to play. Yes, it's still the 2023 qualifiers. The results of the day, we have Swaziland, that is the S1T, yes, versus Cape Verde. And the match ended 1-0 in favor of Cape Verde. Swaziland had a penalty, but unfortunately they couldn't equalize. Yes, so Cape Verde won that game. Yes, Cape Verde traveled all the way, yes, to S1 team to beat them 1-0. Namibia surprisingly beat Cameroon, and there was Samuel Eto'o filled in, I think, in the stands during that match, and things are not going so well for the Cameroonian side, and people are calling for the head of the song, yes, the head coach, to be sacked, but we're still hoping that the system, yes, to be sacked. We're still hoping that it's going to be an interesting one coming up. We're still on the African front, yes. Malawi and Egypt, yes, Egypt beat Malawi 4-0, and mind you, there was a record on this particular match with Mohamed Salah being the second to score 50 goals, yes, for the country, yes, aside Abu Trika, yes. So Mohamed Salah trying so much to write his name in football for the Egyptians. All right, so we have Botswana and Equatorial Guinea, which ended 3-2 in favor of Equatorial Guinea. All right, Tanzania versus Uganda, which ended 1-0 in favor of Uganda. All right, the Gambians 1-0 against Mali. Yes, Mali is a tough opponent, but the Gambians tried their best to beat them 1-0. Liberia and South Africa, the first leg ended in 2-2. Yes, the South Africans scored 2-0. Liberian had to come from behind to be to share the point. All right, but they traveled to Liberia and they beat Liberia. And South Africa, on this note, qualified for the 2024 La Côte d'Ivoire African Cup of Nations. All right, so Mozambique versus Senegal. Senegal won the game by 0-0 against Mozambique. Togo and Burkina Faso ended 1-1. Yes, and Burkina Faso had to stand on this to qualify for the African Cup of Nations. All right, Comoros and La Côte d'Ivoire ended 2-0, all right, in favor of La Côte d'Ivoire. Libya and Tunisia ended 1-0 in favor of Tunisia. And Mauritania and DR Congo, yes, ended 1-1. Yes, so it was a 1-1 qualifier game. Yes, and we'll be bringing you the teams that have qualified. Mind you, Ghana needs just a win to qualify. So our next encounter, I think, coming in August, will be an interesting one. All right, so I'll be bringing you short from our screens, countries that are qualified. You can see Tunisia in your short qualified for the African Total Energy African Cup of Nations. Yes, so South Africa also in your short as well, and they qualified for that particular. Senegal in your short, they're going for their 17th time of the tournament. Yes, so that is some interesting one. And Burkina Faso, this will be their 11th time going into that particular tournament. Algeria, the fans' favorite, the favorite to win this particular next year's African Cup of Nations, La Côte d'Ivoire 2023. So that will be an interesting one. Morocco, the first team to ever qualify. Yes, I think they're still unbeaten, and they even beat Brazil in a friendly encounter. That should tell you their strength when it comes to the world football. They are doing something right. That's one of these. They will bring you the project going on in in Morocco. All right, so enough with the African scene. Still in Ghana, let's talk about the Ghana Black Stars. Yes, the Ghana Black Stars match was very interesting. That we had to go all the way to Angola, Luanda to share the points. All right, so we beat them 1-0 in Kumasi and travel all the way to Luanda, that is Angola capital, to beat them or to share the point with them. All right, so in your short, there was an interesting conversation that yesterday transpired that a lot of people were commenting why Andre
Papalo Radio,
wasn't
straight
part
up
of the team
for
that played
Jesus.
the match in Kumasi. Yes, the best friend, let me say, a family friend of the Ayus came out yesterday on a radio interview that he spoke to the brother, and from comments he's saying he seems the new Black Star manager, that is Aminu Shadow in your short. It's alleged that he forgot to include Dede's name in the 20 in the final man squad for that particular match. It's an interesting one because this is his first time being the team manager for the Black Stars, and to make a big omission like that is questionable. And if it's true, because Didi Ayew is our captain, so I don't think you can make a team selection, and forget the captain. We leave this for our viewers and our fans to suggest that in our shot. We'll still be listening to comments from others, and there are a lot of comments coming up. We'll be reading quite a few of them to you. All right, so still on that short, yes, today an interesting one. Atizigi, yes, was seen with the Switzerland High Commission, yes, the ambassador. They were buying something on the roadside. I think he went there to present a JC to them. Switzerland has been his home. He's been last year, 2023, was named the most valuable player in the Swedish league. Yes, so he came there today to present a JC. Yes, and they had a chit chat, and he wanted to introduce some Ghanaian favorite to him. Yes, to her. So they sent her out there to have, and you know how the paparazzis are all over taking shots of pictures like that and circulating that on the internet. All right, so there's another news about our Ghanaian legend Asamoah Gyan. Yes, it's a very interesting one because just recently, what they are asking him to do, just recently Manchester United had to sign Benny McCarthy as the strikers coach, and Eric Bequin in an interview yesterday pulled it all out that he wants the Ghana national team to put Asamoah Gyan as the strikers coach for the national team. Yes, they want him to be the national team coach for strikers. Yes, nowadays football is developing, so we have a lot of coach sessions in the camp and the teams. Yes, so they want him to be the strikers coach. Mind you, he made mention that with the vast facility and intelligence
Papalo Radio,
legend,
straight up
can be used
for Jesus,
yes, and can be put to bed. That since he's been in all the big stages, yes, so he can still impart the youth coming. Since the national team is still struggling with goal scoring, yes, so he can be a good coach to them. Yes, so these are some of the news coming from the ex-Kotoko legend, yes, Eric Bequin. Yes, so these were some of the interesting news that came up. And yesterday was a very interesting one from our under-23. That is something we should be looking at. Yes, the under-23 of the Black Meteors of Ghana yesterday beat their counterparts, which is in the Algerians. Yes, a goal. Yes, in the it was an interesting one. Yes. Yes, we beat them a goal to nil in courtesy of Isahaku Abdul Fattah Isahaku's lone strike. That it was an header anyway that beat the Algerian. The first leg ended 1-1 in Algeria. Yes, and they came home and we beat them 1-0. So in aggregate, it was 2-1 for us to qualify for the under-23 Morocco African Cup of Nations. And mind you, we are still not there yet in the Olympics. Yes, the Olympics now, it's being taken from the those who are going to participate are taken out from the African Cup of Nations, yes, the under-23 African Cup of Nations, which is coming on in Morocco. And mind you, the first, second, third are the three countries going to participate in the Olympics. Yes, so we have a very long way to go. Although we've been able to qualify for the African Cup, we just have to get to the final stages, yes, and make sure to qualify for the Since 2004, that was the last time Ghana sent a football team to the Olympics. So there is a huge record to be broken, and we believe Ibrahim Tanko and his boys can do justice to that. They still are in the under 23 camp. There were rumors that Afenyajan was invited by the head coach, but after the game, Ibrahim Tanko had to come out and made it publicly that he contacted the agent or the manager of Afenyajan 4 times and made sure that he include his name into the list, but he doesn't know why the chap didn't show up in the camp. And there are a lot of questions on this particular comment from the coach, because since you made a comment that you called the manager and the manager told you the boy is not ready, people are still saying he still hasn't gotten over the snub for the World Cup after playing all the qualifiers and still being ignored and be picked over by Inaki Williams. That sends a very bad note to the player, so the player is not ready yet. But Tanko said he spoke to the manager and the manager confirmed that yes, the boy is not ready, but yes, he still included his name in the 25-man squad, which was a lot of questions around that. If the manager told you that the boy is not ready, why then do you have to include his name into the list? Others were saying that he was a late call-up. That is another question. A player of his caliber to be called late, probably because the player didn't show up. That's why you had to call him. There's a whole lot going on in that 23 camp, and we'll be bringing you more updates on that going forward. All right. So yesterday, the man of the match was Abdul Fattah Issahaku, who plays his trade for Sporting Lisbon. Yesterday, I think a radio journalist here who was with them in the under 12 Milo Championship in Nigeria, sent a picture to him that if he does remember this particular moment, I think they lost that match, the final game against the Nigerians. Yes, that was under 12 level for the Milo Cup. Yes, so they lost, and this is how we should be grooming players to fit into the national team. Mind you, this boy has been through all the ranks in Ghana with a lot of players like the Danlad Ibrahim, the keeper in the short, who has gone through the 17 and the 20, and to the national team, who was part of the squad that went to the World Cup, and now being with the under 23. That actually tell you how the boy has been going through all the round. All right, so they're still on the under 23 camp. There were comments from Tanko that people were asking, will Kudus be available for the African Cup of Nations for under 23? Yes, and he made comment that Kudus will be 23 in August and he wouldn't be able to participate. Yes, so that is a comment from the coach. Yes, age-wise he wouldn't be able to participate, but still, regardless, he's a top player. Not that regardless, those playing for the 23 are not top players. They are all top players, but it's going to take an extra for Ajax to release their player because of the workload that will be on the player. Yes, so still on the Tanko made mention that there are going to be some interesting call-ups for that tournament because he wants to make sure Ghana qualify. Mind you, Tanko sent the boys last 2 years to the semi-finals, and they were eliminated by the Algerians. Yes, it was a penalty and they had to be eliminated, and so they couldn't qualify for the Olympics. But this time around, he wants to do all things possible to send the boys to the final, and they will qualify for the under 23, the Olympics. Yes, and there were some interesting one from the Olympics end because the powerhouse of African football, Senegal, couldn't qualify. Yes, Mali beat them yesterday, so they couldn't make it to the African Cup of the under 23. So their dominance in African football comes to an end. Maybe that's what people say. So we'll be right back after this break with the remaining of the news then. All right, so don't go anywhere. Stay right with us. All right.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for
Papalo Radio. Straight up for Jesus.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. 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 Stand up. To be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up,
Alright, so we're back again. It's fully packed, yes. As we said earlier, it was an interesting one from the African front. We came back to the country that is Ghana for you, and on a train we're doing wonders with Ibrahim Tanko. Yes, there were some interesting features that also came up. Yes, in the Ghana scene. Yes, Kumasi City Kodoko sacking their coach, who is mourning the loss of his son. Yes, it was a very sad one, but the football had to go on, and they weren't getting the results, so they had to just send the coach away. That is coming out from Kumasi. Yes, it was a very interesting one because people really never anticipated that. Yes, so it was sad that they had to sack their coach. Yes, so in your short, that's the coach Zaidu. Yes, who has been sacked by the Kumasi Football Club. Yes, so now it's rumored that they are talking to the former Heart of Oak coach Samuel Boyd, who is now the U20 coach. Yes, so there are still communication and rumors going up around that he might be taking over the slot. And also there is another rumor going on.
Papalo Radio, straight up,
yes,
for Jesus.
Ogum, will be taking on the Accra to Folk vacant job. Yes, and Accra to Folk has reported to the police for their missing coach. Yes, Matip, who is nowhere to be found in the country, but indication says that he's moved back to Serbia. Yes, so these are many other information coming out from this local scene, and there's still Premier League matches going on, and it was an interesting feature that went on today. Yes, Asante Kotoko will be playing Legon Cities tomorrow, so that will be other ones that will be coming. We'll be bringing you to you shortly. There are some other matches that came today, and it was an interesting one that we were really anticipating, and a lot came up. Yes, still on that particular front on the African scene. Yes, today King Faisal beat Karela United 3-2. Yes, Chelsea become Chelsea and Ghana FC. Also an interesting one that they beat. They shared the point. Ghana, the league leaders, shared the score with become Chelsea. Tamale City beat Instructorman 2-1, and FC Samatex with Evans, yes, making a goal in that particular, and then they beat Kotoko Royal 2-1. Alright, so between United and Dream FC, between United beat Dreams FC 1-0, and Mediama and the BNI Gold Stars was rained off. So these are some of the interesting ones that came up today. Alright, so in a short you could see King Faisal and Karela United 3-2, Become Chelsea 1-1, and Adriana, the league leaders, fell short to 1 goal, yes, 1 point in that particular match. And Tamale City versus Instructorman ended 2-1, and FC Samatex, yes, beat Kotoko Royals 2-1. Between United 1 goal to, and Dream FC 0. And Mediama and BNI Gold Stars game was called up due to the rain. Yes, we'll be bringing you some shots from the league standing in that particular order. Alright, so that is the first 10 and the first 5 and the bottom 3. Alright, so Adriana today they lost 2 points, so that will be 41 points today. Accra Lion will be taking on Accra Heart of Oak, and we'll be bringing you some interesting conversation on that particular match. Between United also there in your short, who did so well today, and they beat Dreams FC, so they will be having 40 points. They will be moving to the second position. And Mediama FC and Gold Stars game was called off, so that is going to be an outstanding match right there. Alright, so in the bottom half of the table, that is an interesting Kotoko Royals, who lost 2-1 to FC Samatex, lying last on the bottom, and King Faisal being beaten today. Also another interesting one by Karela United. They beat Karela United, so probably they will be moving to 28 points, and they will be still on the bottom 3, but we're hoping they will go off the relegation zone. And Tamale City beating Instructorman FC. Yes, so they will be moving up to 28 points after the match. Alright, so these are some of the interesting conversations that came up here. So we'll bring in some interesting one as well. And Accra Accra Heart of Folk. Yes, Accra Heart of Folk. And with Accra Lions today coming on shortly, they have dropped their number one keeper. In your shot was the match against Karela last week, and yes, and the match ended 3-0 in favor of Karela at the Western Ridge Enyinasi. But there were some conversation going around with how the keeper, we don't know whether it's juju in quotes. Others are saying a lot of conversation going around social media. Even a radio station in Zambia tweeted that the Ghanaian club Accra Heart of Folk had to use a juju man instead of a goalkeeper, and I think the information didn't get well with the club owner, that is Togwe Afede, the faith, so had to call for questioning among the team and the playing body, and there were still answers to be given, so we're still waiting for that. So I think due to that, they had to drop Richmond Ayi, the first choice goalkeeper in that order, so he's no more in the starting lineup today. So the question still goes, is that juju or it was a lifestyle? We are yet to know. I haven't seen any European player going into a match like that. Mind you, Razak Omotoyose did the same thing against a match against Kotoko, and they still lost the game. And this is very, very interesting coming out from a great club like Accra Heart of Folk. Alright, so with their match against Accra Lions today, I think the match has already started. It's still goalless, and the lineup in your screens, yes, Kunedu Yadom, who maintain is the number 5, yes, and we have Yabifi, we have Otenga, yes, and Eric Enkwi, who take place of Richmond Ayi to be the goalkeeper. We have Albert Endu and Kaliba Mankwa, Samuel Inkum, Esubontin Enoch, Dennis Nkrumah Kosa, and we have Linda Nteng and Eric Aso in that shot. And with the Accra Lions side, we have David Odru, Samuel Jima, Kingsford Achampong, Rich Saki, we have Andrew Wusu, that is the goalkeeper, and Samari Salifu, who is the he's a striker, very, very fantastic chap in there, and Issa Ibrahim. We have Evans Botri, we have Dominic Amponsan, remember Adomakun, yes, and Emmanuel Jigba, yes, in the shot as well. So this is the lineup for Accra Lions taking on Accra Heart of Oak. Alright, so that is an interesting match. I'm bringing you the update on that particular match as well. And still, as I told you, this is a sports station. We'll be doing something about boxing. Yes, on the weekend, Saturday, yes, it was an interesting one of the Ghanaian champion, former featherweight champion, Richard Comey, was beaten to the pulp by an interesting opponent. Yes, it was an interesting one because this was a time for him to relaunch his hand on the featherweight champion. Yes, but unfortunately had to lose that particular encounter. Yes, and it was an interesting one that he had to come into the picture to lose that match. It was a sad one because he's been out for the game for a while. He still has issues with the Ghana Boxing Association, so we're still waiting for the update on that particular encounter. So these are some of the news coming out from the the boxing point of view. It was an interesting, but it was a 12-bout round, but he gave up the ghost around in the 11th round. So that is interesting one on your show. Yes, so that was Ramirez. Yes, Ramirez versus Comey fight. Yes, and mind you, two Ghanaians are fighting an opponent called Ramirez. This is from Venezuela, and Isaac Dogbe will also be in the stands come 1st April. Yes, he will be in the ring 1st April. Will also be taking on Robsy Ramirez. Yes, so Isaac Dogbe will be taking on Robsy Ramirez, and mind you, the one that beats Richard Comey is also called Ramirez. So we are going to take on Ramirez, the Ramirez family. All right, so that is some interesting one coming from the world of boxing. All right, so we have an interesting conversation with a very young chap from Korea. Yes, sorry, Japan. Yes, he's a Ghanaian born Japan. The father is a Ghanaian and the mother is a Japanese. Yes, so that is in your short. Andy Haraku, yes, who is very interesting opponent and just recently won the world featherweight champion and had to return home to give respect to his home country. And he said today went for a media rounds in the Bukom Arena, yes, with his management and his team. Yeah, they went there for a sparring, but when I had a very quiet interview that he said that he's still very interested and happy to be in Ghana, and he met some few boxers who are very, very fit. He has been out of the ring for 4 months, but today he had to try some sparring today with some interesting opponents, and it was an interesting exercise for the young chap who is a Ghanaian. The father is a Ghanaian, the mom is a Japanese. Yes,
Papalo Radio, straight up
your shot,
for
right?
Jesus.
So on this note, we'll be calling it. We'll be closing the carpets or the curtains today on today's show, Sports Arena. And don't go anywhere, still on Papalo Radio. We'll be bringing you a lot of updates and a lot of interesting conversation going up in the studios. Yes, so please and please again, try and share our Facebook to others, family, friends. Invite others to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also on our Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter. Let anybody at all come visit us on Papalo. And if you want to sponsor any of our programs, kindly watch the numbers running below the screen, and we will be attending to you. All right, so the marketing department will be attending to you. We have very good, interesting rate card that we'll be giving you, and we'll be running promotion this particular Easter for advertisement. So if you want to advertise your product, this is the right time and the right place to be for the Easter promotion. Yes, all right, so we'll be bringing you a lot of updates, and hopefully seeing you on Saturday. We'll be bringing you a full-pack studio conversation from our guest and our co-host. All right, I'm still your host, Eric Mens, with my producer, Brad Jude. All right, so on this note, we'll be signing out, and see you on the flip side of life.